Today's lesson is called The Unbreakable Blockchain. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and today we're going to continue talking about the unbreakable blockchain and why it is so important and why it is so secure for digital currency. So last time we talked about currency in general, silver, gold, and seashells. Now, of course, today we use banknotes. But, of course, when you make a transfer from bank to bank, you need to pay a fee. But if you use digital currency, then you can eliminate those fees altogether. And we also talked about what blockchain technology is. It's where they add the information to the end of each transaction, and that information cannot be changed. So as a result, these are very secure transactions.
Yeah, we did talk about blockchain last time, but we still didn't really talk about where the currency, the digital currency itself, comes from. Apparently, you can kind of harvest Bitcoin or something like that, and by doing some calculations, you somehow create value. Now, how this actually works is not clear to me, but the blockchain sounds relatively straightforward. It's a public database. Okay, whenever there's a business transaction involving Bitcoin or some other digital currency, the details of that particular transaction are kept, okay? They're kept in one place in this public database so that you know exactly who owns what at what time, how much Bitcoin they have, so on and so forth. And yes, this is publicly available, so everybody knows what's what. This makes the blockchain pretty cool, pretty secure, and pretty useful as well. Anyways, that's enough talk for now. Let's go ahead and take a short break, but when we come back, we'll talk some more about blockchain.
As useful as blockchain may be for digital currency transactions, it also has great potential in other areas. One such area is the protection of intellectual property. Creative people often have their intellectual property stolen or illegally shared, whether it's music, movies, or text. However, blockchain allows artists, musicians, and writers to share their content online with proof that they are the creators, regardless of where that content ends up.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 intellectual， 这个字是形容词，指智力的、脑力的，像是 intellectual property 就表示智慧财产权。例如 With the rise of downloading in the past 15 years, many people have ignored laws concerning intellectual property. 过去15年来，下载兴起，很多人都忽视了有关智慧财产权的法律。或是 Bonnie is 4 years old, but she has the intellectual abilities of an adult. Bonnie 才4岁，却拥有和大人一样运用智力的能力。再举一个例子 The students gathered at the coffee shop for intellectual discussions. 学生聚在咖啡馆里进行知识性讨论。另外，这个字也可以当名词，指知识分子。像是 This bookshop is beloved by intellectuals and casual readers alike. 这间书店受到知识分子和一般读者的喜爱。接着我们看到名词 content 指文章、作品、电影等的内容，做此一时为不可数。例如 The content of this book is not suitable for young children. 这本书的内容不适合小朋友阅读。或是Though the magazine's design was eye-catching, its content was unremarkable. 虽然这本杂志的设计很吸睛，但却没有什么内容可言。另外，以下补充2个相关片语。第一 ，to one's heart's content 表示尽兴，念作 content， 指满足。像是 If you don't have any homework, you can play to your heart's content. 如果你没有作业，你可以尽兴的玩。第二 ，be content to加动词，表示满足于点点点。content 在此当形容词，也是念作 content， 指满足的、满意的。举例来说 We can go sightseeing if you want, but I'm content to sit on the beach all day. 如果你要的话，我们可以去逛逛，但我觉得整天坐在沙滩上还蛮好的。
Okay, let's continue our discussion on blockchain. Yes, it does have some very useful applications for digital currency, but as useful as blockchain may be for digital currency transactions, it also has great potential in other areas. So this pattern here, as useful as blockchain may be, as is the case, I guess we could say, even though it is useful for digital currency transactions, it still has some other uses. It can have some great potential in other areas. So that's this pattern here. As useful as it may be, it can still be used for other things as well. And we're saying that it has great potential in other areas. Potential means the possibility of something happening in the future. You might have a 2 or 3-year-old child who picks up the guitar and plays several chords automatically. You could say, hey, this kid has great potential to be a rock star in the future. We should probably let little Junior start taking guitar lessons right now because he has potential. He could be somebody famous in the future.
Yeah, there are some great possibilities here. Or you could say that this has got great potential. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of these. One such area is the protection of intellectual property. So there you go. We can protect intellectual property by using blockchain and digital currency transactions and stuff like that. How interesting. By the way, you can own something, like a piece of property can be your house, your car, so on and so forth. Sometimes, though, you can also own ideas, okay? When we're talking about that, we're talking about intellectual property.
Intellectual, having to do with thoughts and things like that. We talk about people who are really smart, who talk about famous philosophers and things like that. Those are intellectuals. But here, intellectual means more having to do with knowledge-based property, like writing your novel or your essay or music or movies and things like that. So that's intellectual property. And you don't want somebody else stealing your ideas. And creative people often have their intellectual property stolen or illegally shared, whether it's music, movies, or text, writing. So yes, you might have your property stolen. In other words, someone might steal your intellectual property. If you wrote a novel or something, someone may steal a passage from it and use it in their own essay. Yeah, you need to be protected from that. You can't let other people steal your ideas. You can't have your ideas stolen by somebody else. That's the passive voice.
Yeah, that's terrible. Sometimes creative people, they come up with great ideas and people steal those ideas from them. If only you could patent an idea. Well, it turns out you can. There is such a thing as intellectual property. Anyways, yeah, creative people very often get ripped off. However, blockchain allows artists, musicians, and writers to share their content online with proof that they are creators, regardless of where that content ends up. So I guess you enter something in the blockchain, you're talking about your idea or something like that, and that becomes proof that you were the first person to come up with that idea. It's in the blockchain there. I had this idea at this point. It's got my name on it. That's proof that this is my property, and you can't steal that.
Yep, you can share your content online with that proof, regardless of where it ends up. It doesn't matter where it ends up. It's still yours, and you don't need to worry about your ideas getting stolen. Everybody will know, and you can sue other people if they try to use your ideas. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's move on now to the second and talk about using blockchain to track consumer products.
Blockchain is also useful for tracking consumer products. For example, if you're buying a new designer bag, you want to make sure that the bag is as advertised and not a used item or knockoff. With the help of blockchain technology, one could easily find out where, when, and by whom a product was made, whether it has had previous owners, and if so, how much they paid for the product. Best of all, blockchain prevents people from tampering with this information.
第二部分，我们看到单字 knockoff 指名牌的仿制品，例如 Peggy couldn't afford a designer dress, so she bought a knockoff instead. Peggy 买不起正牌设计师的洋装，所以她改买仿制品。
Okay, folks, let's get right back into things. Blockchain, it says next, is also useful for tracking consumer products. Remember, the blockchain, it is a publicly available database, okay? There's all sorts of information, okay? It's nice and secure, and it's also really well organized. Yeah. Every single bit in this particular database is called a block, okay? And every single time there's a transaction, you add new blocks to this database. But you do so, like I said before, in a very organized way. You do so chronologically, one after another in time, and you also do things linearly in a line. So all of this information is in one place. You can reference it. It's secure, and this makes it really easy to track things like consumer products.
Yep, it's all in a line, so if you try to change the information, it will just screw everything up, so you can't do that, and therefore the information is all secure. Now, blockchain is also useful for tracking consumer products, products that we consumers use. Like in this instance, for example, if you're buying a new designer bag, you want to make sure that the bag is as advertised and not a used item or knockoff. Yes, I have this problem every time I go to Hong Kong, and when I want to buy a Rolex watch, I buy myself a new Rolex watch every time I go to Hong Kong, but I'm always concerned about whether that Rolex watch is a knockoff or not. Knockoff means it's a substitute, it's not the real thing, it's a fake Rolex watch, and I don't want that. But if I can use blockchain, then I can know for sure that that Rolex watch is the real thing, or that designer bag is the real thing.
Exactly. I've got neighbors here who they're always in Gucci clothes, and I thought, wow, they must be really super rich people. They wear Gucci shoes and shirts. They've got Gucci bags. Oh my goodness. They must be super wealthy. And I mentioned this to my wife, and she said, they're not wealthy. They just wear knockoff Gucci, i.e., that's not real Gucci stuff they're wearing. It's actually like counterfeited or fake Gucci stuff. Anyways, though, more on blockchain. With the help of blockchain technology, one could easily find out where, when, and by whom a product was made, whether it has had previous owners, and if so, how much they paid for the product. So there you go with blockchain. You've got that database, and all the information is in one place. It's detailed, it's organized, it's kind of awesome.
That's right. So yes, if you don't believe the bag is what it is as advertised, then you can check blockchain, and you can find out all sorts of information about that bag. When it was made, where it was made, who owned it before, and what the original price of that bag was. So then you're all set, and then you can decide whether you want to buy that bag or not. Best of all, blockchain prevents people from tampering with this information. As we've said before, if you try to change that information, it will screw up the whole system, and they don't allow that. So yes, you cannot tamper with that information. Hear the phrase to tamper with something just means you kind of try to change it illegally. You try to do something to it so it's ruined. And yes, you don't want that tampered with. Maybe your car blows up when you start it. Somebody tampered with your engine. They went in there and they changed some things so that it would blow up the next time you tried to start it.
That's terrible. Gosh,
an extreme example.
I would hate for my car to blow up when I just sat in there and turned it on. That would be terrible. But let's say I do want to do something bad. Let's say I want to tamper with the blockchain. You know, Tom's got this great new hat. Let's say I want that hat. So I go into the blockchain there, and I'm going to steal the hat by changing the name of the owner from Roger to Jeff. Oh, I'm such a good hacker. Now, you can't do this, though. If you tamper with the blockchain, they would add a new block to the end of that line saying, user Jeff tried to change the name Roger into Jeff. So maybe I've done a good job and I think I've covered my tracks, but there would be a record added saying that someone tried to change the blockchain. So there you go. Don't tamper with the blockchain. It just won't work. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll wrap up our article after this.
Basically, the use of blockchain technology reduces acts of fraud or theft by letting us make sure no transactions are made off the books. And being a public database rather than controlled by any one person or group, blockchain is democratic and transparent, and it seems poised to make a big impact in the near future.
第三部分，我们看到名词 fraud 指欺骗行为、诈骗。举例来说 ，cases of fraud committed on the internet rise every year。网络诈骗案例逐年升高。另外，除了上面的意思，这个字也可以指骗子、假货，像是 The old lady accused the man of being a fraud。老太太指控那个人是名骗子。最后，我们看到片语 be poised to 加动词或 for 加名词，表示准备好去做点点点。例如 The company is poised to release its new line of products at the end of this month。这间公司准备好要在这个月底推出新产品。或是 Many believe that the politician is poised for victory in the upcoming election。许多人相信这名政治人物准备好在接下来的选举中赢得胜利。
Okay, we're going to wrap up our article now. So basically, the use of blockchain technology reduces acts of fraud or theft by letting us make sure no transactions are made off the books or under the table, whatever the case may be. So yes, if you use this technology, you can reduce these moments of fraud or theft. Fraud is when you try to trick someone, like if you receive a phone call by somebody who says that they're your bank and they say, oh, we urgently need your account number because if we don't do this transaction with your account, the government is going to charge you all this tax. That's fraud there. They're trying to get that information from you. They, of course, are criminals. They're just trying to get your bank account information so they can steal money from you. Again, that is fraud. And when they actually do steal the money from you, then that is theft. So fraud is when they try to trick you, and then theft is when they actually steal something.
And there you go. Use blockchain. Okay, why? It will reduce acts of fraud or theft. It will make many of these things really difficult or impossible. Yes, when you use blockchain technology, you make sure that all your transactions are made where everybody can see them. They're made publicly, and there's always a record. You never do anything off the books. There are no hidden transactions or under-the-table transactions. Now, and being a public database or database, rather than controlled by any one person or group, blockchain is democratic and transparent, and it seems poised to make a big impact in the near future. So there you go, the blockchain. It's there. It's a database. You can see it. Everyone can see it. It's publicly available, and it's not controlled by a single person. So for this reason, yes, it's quite democratic and also transparent. You can see right through things.
That's right. So somebody like Kim Jong-un in North Korea cannot go in there and tamper with the information to steal secrets and things like that because it's in the open there. It's in the public domain. Everybody can see it. And it's transparent. Transparent means you can see through it. We always talk about governments needing to be transparent so that we know what they're doing. Some governments, of course, are not transparent. We don't know what they're doing.
There you go. Yes, blockchain, it seems very democratic and transparent, and it seems poised to make a big impact in the near future. Now, earlier we talked about the word potential. You can say that something has potential to be great, or you can also say that it's poised to be great. Both of these phrases would mean about the same thing.
Yep, poised to, about to, or it probably will make a big impact. It will be very influential, and hopefully the world will be better as a result. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始提到 As useful as blockchain may be for digital currency transactions, it also has great potential in other areas. 好，那这边我们来学习的是形容词 as 主词加 be 动词的句型。好 as 在这个句型里面它是指尽管虽然，这个用法呢是倒装句型，用来强调它句首的形容词。那我们原本的句型其实你可以把它写作 although 主词 be 动词形容词，或者是 though 主词 be 动词形容词，来表达虽然怎么样怎么样。当我们要强调这个形容词的时候啊，你就可以把形容词移到句首，就会形成倒装句型咯，然后就会写作形容词though 主词 be 动词，或者是形容词 as 主词 be 动词。although 怎么不见变成 as 了呢？好，要特别注意哦，在倒装句型里面，我们只能用 as 或者是 though， 不可以用 although 来表示。好，举例来说 Although it may seem tricky, it's actually quite easy. 虽然它看起来好像很困难，但它其实蛮简单的。那我们要把这个句子形成倒装句型，我们这时候先把形容词 tricky, although it may seem tricky 的这个 tricky 把它移到句首，然后再把 although 改成 though 或者是 as， 那句子就会写作 tricky though it may seem， 或者是 tricky as it may seem.It's actually quite easy. 好，那同学们或许就有注意到，可是课文句子它是用 as useful as blockchain may be 耶，这个形容词前面怎么多了 as 呢？好，这是因为在美语当中，他们通常会在倒装句型的形容词前面再多加个 as， 把它形成 as 形容词 as。主词加 be 动词，所以下次看到这样的句型，你不要把它想成是像什么一样怎么样。好，那么我们刚刚的例句呢，也可以把它讲成说 As tricky as it may seem, it's actually quite easy. 好，那接着我们来还原课文的句子。我们刚刚说句首的 as 是多出来的，你可以先把它遮住不管。那么形容词 useful 本来应该要摆在 be 动词的后面吧。那么第二个 as 它表示尽管虽然，所以现在我们如果用 although 或是 though 来取代这个 as， 那前半句就可以改写成 although blockchain may be useful， 或者是 though blockchain may be useful for digital currency transactions， 尽管区块链对数位货币的交易来说很实用，好，那么希望经过讲解之后同学们看懂这个句子了。好，接着读到课文第二部分的最后一句 Best of all, blockchain prevents people from tampering with this information。 句子里面的副词片语 best of all 表示最棒的是，也就是说你前面可能已经列出很多优点了，然后我们用 best of all 来引出最棒的部分。例如 The room at the hotel was clean and comfortable, and best of all, it has a beautiful view of the sea. 那间房间又干净又舒适，最棒的是它有美丽的海景。好，那另外句子里面还用到一个片语叫 tamper with， 这个动词 tamper 它有扰乱干扰，或者是任意更改篡改，或者是贿赂收买的意思。那么使用的时候常常搭配介系词 with， 在课文里面 tamper with 它就表示篡改，随意的更动，对某事物动手脚的意思。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Potential. Although she's still young, Jenny has the potential to be a professional soccer player. Intellectual.Playing chess is more of an intellectual exercise than a game. Content. A lot of the content in this film is not meant to be seen by children. Consumer. Very few consumers know how the products they buy are actually made. Theft. David installed an alarm system in his store to prevent theft. Transparent.
Free societies function best when the government is transparent and open.
Discussion Starter starts now!
All right, everyone, it's now time for our discussion starter. Hey, Roger. Do you feel safer about making online purchases because of blockchain?
Well, due to the fact that blockchain is a new technology and that it's transparent and that it's open to the public, I do feel safer when making those online purchases because you will always know what's going on there. You can find out if somebody's trying to cheat you or not. So yes, in the future, when I order things from online stores, I will feel safe and sound. How about you?
I feel much safer because blockchain technology, it sounds good, but basically it's just a very well-organized database. Someone has taken a lot or has put a lot of effort into making sure this database is organized in such a way that records for everything are kept and that these records are permanent. You can't counterfeit things or fake the blockchain. I'm a big fan of that aspect of this technology. Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.